What's going on, everybody? Oh, it's Movie Talks, the only podcast you need for all your movie news, movie reviews. Almost in my other intro, I was like,
Yeah,
it's a Robin. I don't know, it's something.
welcome to
Yeah,
Reimanntv. My name is Reimann. I am your host.
yeah, I got a little script in my head. Sometimes the scripts shuffle on the pages.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair. Honestly, I'm surprised you don't do it more often because yeah, that's like genuinely there's a lot.
the mix-ups.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I would fuck up a lot more than that. Is what I'm saying.
yeah. I don't know. I like routine. I like it.
Hmm.
But we are on episode 57 and we have a lineup for you. We're starting at the bottoms, surprisingly. You know,
Oh, nice. Is that why it's first?
no, that's just a happy coincidence. So we're
Yeah.
starting with Bottoms, which is a Lawson pick. This is a new comedy film that is out now. And then we've
Hmm.
got the newest Castlevania Nocturne. I don't think I pronounced that right.
Nocturne. Yeah, yeah.
Nocturne,
Like
yeah.
nocturnal without the all part. It's
Yeah,
nocturne.
it throws my brain. I hate it. Just put the Nocturnal in there. Like, just come on, guys. Come on. Come on. Name it
But
for
they're
us.
not.
Name it for us
Whatever.
simple folks. And
You simple
then
folks. Don't speak for yourself, please.
that's how I was. I
You
purely
said
was.
us.
Well, I'm
I
big
thought you
enough
meant
for
us, as in like
nah,
you, me, us.
nah, I'm big enough for two people. So we're fine. We're fine. And
I
then
like it.
we've got the wonderful story of Henry Sugar. So this is Benedict Cumberbatch and Wes Anderson teaming up with a Rowan Dahl. I think I said it wrong. I don't know. Rowan
Yes.
Dahl. But I don't care.
Rolled.
And what? Dahl?
Roll doll. I think
Dahl?
it's like rolled, like or roll.
Do you reckon
Roll doll.
that's his real name? Or is it like his alias?
I actually
Raul.
want to look up because this is one of those like I've always said it quickly, roll doll. But
Yeah.
I've never actually I don't know how to actually pronounce the first name is the first part in his name, rolled.
Raul. Rolling,
I'm gonna
rolling.
look it up right now.
Okay. But yeah, it's based off his story. It's a short story. It's just
Rolled.
rolled, roll down, roll
Roll
down,
doll.
roll down, roll and
Yeah,
oh
that's better. That's
yeah.
closer.
Yeah,
That'll do.
that'll do. Whatever. We're here now. Roald Dahl's short story, and that is on Netflix now. So it's a good lineup. Good lineup.
Hmm.
But there's some new things that are coming out
Very
that
good
I know
lineup. Yeah, sorry, I vagued out. Sorry, we've it's very good lineup. I just want to reiterate that point. It's a rare W of a week.
ooh, giving it away early. Should have been like, wait till the
I don't
end.
know.
Wait till
I think that's enough. I think that's within itself exciting to stick around. Hear what we have to say about actually watching good things for once.
fair, fair. But we're going into the movie news. This is the segment where like you guys are like, yes, yes, what randomness is coming out now.
Yeah. You did it
Yeah.
to me during the week. You sent me movie news last night or night before, Friday night. He
Did
told me
I?
some fact, and I was like, I need more information. You just copied and pasted me a headline, and I'm like, come on, I need more than that.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot I even did it. Things move on
I
from
know
there.
when you send me headlines because it's in capitals.
It's literally copy
I
and paste.
know exactly.
Yeah. I don't put capitals, I just write and whatever auto corrects,
Hmm.
and we're all
No,
good.
it's funny. It's funny.
But the first trailer for the new Toxic Avenger movie is out now, which has Peter Dinkley in it. So he's wearing a mask.
Dinklage. What's it's so? Can you say that again? It's a new superhero.
New Toxic Avengers.
Toxic Avengers.
Toxic as in like poison.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What's Toxic Avenger? I don't think I've heard that term before.
Well, he's toxic and
What?
he's an Avenger.
But Toxic Avengers sounds kind of like anti-heroes.
Hmm.
Like,
Oh my god,
are they a Suicide Squad?
the Toxic Adventures, blood blend of Tim and Eric and RoboCop. Check it out. So,
Superhero black comedy splatter film.
mm,
The original one is from 1984.
yeah, that one. So that could be fun. I do like old Peter Dinklage. I think he's
It's
good.
the fifth installment on a
Fifth.
chain.
Okay.
Elijah Wood. Oh, let's go.
So, yeah. So that should be fun.
I've never heard of the Toxic Avenger.
No.
There's four of them. And they look,
Oh,
oh my God, look at them. Oh my God. Looks like the
it's,
Elephant Man. Have you seen this?
it's toxic. All right, toxic. Is that Dark Man? Which one's the Sam Raimi one? Was that Dark Man? Was that Toxic Avenger? I'm trying to remember now. That was a long time ago. Was that?
No, I don't know. I don't know what you're referring to here. I'm just taken away by Toxic Avenger. Yeah, there's Elijah Wood looking like fucking um he looks like old Greg in this. Yo,
The,
okay. I don't know what this is, but it looks really interesting.
yeah, the Toxic Avenger is. Oh, no, I actually haven't seen it, but I have. I've seen like the DVD cover of the Toxic Avenger. It's like real old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
84 original. That's like
yeah,
Back to the Future era.
yeah.
Interesting.
Never saw it, but it
Me
looks
either.
cool.
But now on to it
Looks cool.
looks it does actually look really cool. I like the prosthetics.
Yeah. Well, do you know what else is coming out? So you remember 13 going on 30, which does have a different name here in Australia, which was Suddenly
Suddenly
30.
30.
Guess
Hmm.
what's happening with that? Have a guess. Have a guess.
I'm guessing a remake.
Nope, it's a musical.
Mm, okay.
Yep. It's heading the
That
stage.
does surprise me.
Yeah.
That as you know, I've been smashing my letterbox recently.
Mm.
Speaking of which, I've now reviewed. Let me have a look. Let me have a look.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You've been.
I've now reviewed 730 movies.
Whoa.
I'm surprised I've seen that many. I mean, I'm
Is that
not, but like
is that just the three weekly ones and you're like here, and you're just putting your notes out, or you're doing extra
I am
above
doing
that?
that, but I also went through like I've been going through years, like just between I started in 1980 or 1970 and then worked my way to current era and went through every single year. And everything I've seen, I gave it out of five. I didn't write a review for every single one, but I gave it an out of
Ah,
five.
okay. I was gonna say, if you're writing reviews, that's an impressive number.
I have for some
Yeah.
things that are special to me or things that are actually like horrible. The rest of it are just ranked.
Okay.
Um anyway, that was a side note. But on Letterboxd, suddenly 30 has pretty good reviews.
It's not a
And
bad film.
I never really found it entertaining, even when I did watch it as a youngster. But I guess I
What
couldn't
if it,
connect with the story. I don't
what if
know.
you watch it now?
I should rewatch, actually.
And then you'd be like, oh, it's so nostalgic. Not nostalgic, so
Potentially.
relatable.
I had it
Maybe.
on like a Bali DVD and it
Oh
was
yeah.
like really glitchy partway through. So I didn't actually watch all of it growing up.
Yeah, fair. Fair. Well, we've also now
Tangent.
got Alfo's Calusha explains why gravity didn't shoot in space. It is an
What?
exclusive. So there has been two movies filmed in space. There's been two actual movies that have been filmed in space.
Really?
Apparently, yeah. Which
Okay.
is the Russian comedy Yolkik 5 had a bit of an international space station, and the challenge, which is Tom Cruise and Doug Liman, apparently working on SpaceX, which are being filmed in space.
Yeah,
Well,
right. That's
yeah,
interesting.
it's,
I'd be curious slash keen, I suppose,
yeah, right.
to actually check out that footage.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Well, Netflix's newest sequel is Chicken Run Dawn of the Nugget.
Yeah.
Is well, yeah, it's there's a trailer out for it now. Could you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like Chicken Run One. Dawn
I
of the
don't
Nugget.
love it.
Dawn of the Nugget's a bit of an average title.
Chicken
Yeah.
Run One is still like iconic. Like just because I didn't really necessarily like I haven't rewatched it many times, but it's still good. Like times I have watched it, I haven't been not entertained.
Okay. Okay. Well, the last few Disney movies that you have not been entertained with. unlike Gladiator, which you were entertained for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, there is a new Disney film called Wish, which has a
Yep.
new trailer, and
Yeah,
it
watch that
is
on Friday.
celebrating 100 years of stories. It's
Yeah.
it's pretty impressive, 100 years for old stories. But is
They're
this
also
going
doing,
is this going to fix their current, I guess, flops of films? So like
well,
Disney stocks are down massively.
Disney stocks are down.
Yeah, because of
I didn't know that.
they've been taking a massive hit with their movies.
All right. That's news to
Mm,
me.
yeah,
Yeah, look, Wish isn't the 100 years of stories thing. I think you might be, if you're reading a headline, that's probably mentioning both. Because there's also this thing coming out. What was it called?
yeah. It's just as the trailer's out, and they're celebrating 100 years of stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a short film coming out called Once Upon a Studio.
Oh,
It's only like when I first saw it, I thought it was going to be because it says featuring Once Upon a Studio trailer, right? Featuring 543 characters from more than 85 feature length and short films. I thought that was going to be exploring, 85 different Disney films to put together into a movie, but it's a short film. It's like 13 minutes long, and it
yeah.
only includes some characters and includes heaps and heaps of dead voice actors. So I'm worried that it's just going to be Disney animation with all the different, because it looks pretty cool with all the different characters, but it's just going to be voices and lines from movies that have been like spliced together to kind of make a conversation between two characters, different IPs.
Okay.
Um, I don't know how good it looks, but that's the Once Upon a Studio Wish. I watched the trailer for. It looks more interesting than the most recent films that have come out, so
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not against it.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. And do you know who else has been making the headlines recently with her
Is that
new boyfriend? You've been following up the
no no?
the Swifty Taylor Swift has a
Oh,
new
has a new
boyfriend.
boyfriend.
Yep.
Okay,
And the Eras tour, which is the newest concert, is film is ready to go for a release in a global release.
awesome. I'm
Well,
ecstatic.
have you watched the one on Netflix? It's pretty good.
No,
It's pretty good. It's pretty
yeah,
good.
sure. I'm
Yeah.
not interested in. I haven't watched many things, most things to do with like musical artists. I'm not that
Uh,
into it. I couldn't give much of a shit.
there. I will watch the Ed Sheeran four-parter on Disney, which was actually really interesting. I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it. Mm.
I just
Mm.
don't find I don't find it entertaining. Like it's not a world that I really care about.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I do want to watch the Wiggles one. I think
Oh
it looks
yeah,
really good.
that'd be cool. We also watched the Pink one on, I think it was Amazon Prime. That was cool.
About the artist Pink.
Yeah, about her life and
Okay.
yeah, it was cool. I liked it.
And yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, fair.
Maybe I should, because like the Pamela Anderson doco
Yeah, it was
was
good.
decent, but I did before that I did not care about her at all.
Yeah, I like learning about the people. I think it's really cool. Like Pamela Anderson, you only got presented with what the tabloids told you, and like
Yeah.
you only see Taylor Swift breaks up with a new boyfriend, etc. Like it's
Yeah, yeah.
good to see them, make them like more human. Because at the end of the day, they're people too.
Exactly. And
They're
then
all,
to put on this weird pedestal, it's ridiculous.
yeah, and they're all people. But that is all the movie news.
It's probably too late now, but I did want to play. I just remembered then I'm trying to find the footage. But I wanted to play a TikTok on thing today. But maybe we'll play it later if we can figure it out in the break.
Yeah,
So I have movie news, but I won't be able to articulate it very well. But I'd like to play it in stream so that it can be articulated by the actual original TikTok video. But we'll leave that for now. We'll
Okay.
move on.
Okay. We'll move on to bottoms while we try and work that out. This
Yep.
is a film that you have picked, which
Mm-hmm.
is rated R, which would be our Australian MA 15 plus. This
Yep.
is about two unpopular queer high school students start a fight club to have sex before graduation. So,
Yeah.
yep. I went into this film not knowing anything. All I
Mm-hmm.
heard was you were like, I want to watch this film called Bottoms. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right. I was like,
Pretty much.
I have no idea what this is at all. It had similar vibes to 10 Things I Hate About You. That's what I got, like the high school
Okay.
like stereotypy presenting. You know how each the start of 10 Things I Hate About You, where it's like the introduction
Yeah.
of all the groups. That's it.
Yeah.
It had that kind of vibe for me right at the start, where you have the two main girls, which was it PJ and Josie? I believe
Yes.
that was correct. Yep. They're the unpopular kids. They want to
Yeah.
do the stereotypical, like, have sex before graduation, the American Pie kind of style.
Yeah.
They want to be noticed by the popular kids, and each of the groups, like there's the popular girls, which are cheerleaders. You've got the jocks, which are the football players, and then you've got the misfits and all the other groups. So for them to become, I guess, accepted and popular, they decided to start a fight club.
Yep. Well, it reminds you of 10 Things How About You, but also every other movie of that genre because it's a parody.
Yeah,
It's parodying the teen movies of old
yeah.
in a really fresh way.
I just felt like they
Yeah.
they they had the vibe of like 10 Things I Hate About You, like the
Yeah.
the the funny, lighthearted to the
I thought
next
it had the
next
vibe
level.
of I put it on the same level as Superbad. Like
Uh,
that's sort of the characters I got. Like it's this journey of two like outcasts trying to get with popular kids and trying to, get their dick wet, their lesbian dick wet in this example. Um, it's like, yeah, to me was I wrote in my review that it's a 2023 super bad for Zoomers because it
okay.
feels like super bad, but like for modern teenagers, I think it's
Yeah.
really fucking funny.
Yeah, I like that comparison. I actually forgot Superbad existed, Like it's
That's fair.
yeah, I don't know. I just forgot about it. And I thought of 10 Things I Hate About You instead.
Hmm.
But
I
like
also got In-Betweeners bit, like similar energy to In-Betweeners at times. Maybe not like as
mm,
balls to the wall ridiculous comedy, but
yeah,
like some of the
I didn't quite get
interactions.
that. There was no, I feel
Okay,
like they never hit that level of In-Betweeners. I think In-Betweeners is like so far ahead of
you've got it on a
everything.
pretty high pedestal though.
It's pretty good though. Not the
No, I'm
movies.
not saying it's not. I
Like
just think that you put it on a pretty high level.
the TV show is like top tier. Like I don't know that anything could top it. What could
Yeah,
top
see
it
what I
in
mean?
terms of comedy? What? I
In terms of
still
comedy, oh, not a lot.
I can still put it
I
on
don't
and laugh
disagree.
at every joke. Like it's
Yeah,
still
definitely.
still
Always.
super funny. The movies you can give or take. Second one
The second one.
has some moments. First one was
Yeah.
still enjoyable.
First one's my introduction to In-Betweeners. I'd never watched the show before. I watched the movie, loved it,
Yeah,
went and
right.
watched the show.
There you
So
go.
like, yeah, I love the movie's still really nostalgic for me.
Mm, that's cool. But yeah, this this sort of, well, as you said, it was a parody. I found the jocks to be super over the top, to the point
It's
where I was like,
intentional.
yeah, but I was like, the quarterback, I was like, is he overcompensating to hide the fact that he um is gay? Like,
Potentially.
was that the point? Like he was
Potentially. But
like,
like see it on a similar level, sorry, as Barbie, in that they're telling a story about people trying to sleep with the popular girls, but they've intentionally flipped gender roles in the story. That the women are the people trying to sleep with them, and the men are the damsels in distress, the bitchy ones, the overdramatic. Like
Okay.
it's kind of like Barbie in that way, where they're trying to tell a story with the opposite gender, and they're flipping the roles there. You know,
Right.
giving the men the stereotypical, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
intentional.
Yeah. All right. I That was lost on me a little bit.
Okay,
So I came in there like I noticed it was a parody, and I noticed
yeah,
that
okay.
it was comedy, but yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't pick up on the nuance of flipping gender roles and stuff. That's why
Fair.
I've got you, my art house friend.
I think it's art house. It's just context.
Yeah. So once they start the fight club, I was like, all right, this is actually quite a fun ride. So they have to start a club. They have to get a teacher to supervise, which is Mr. G. Mr.
Marshawn
G is,
Lynch.
yeah, he reminded me so much of like an Ice Cube character. You know, like Ice
Yeah,
Cube plays the tough
yeah,
guy
yeah,
role. Like even some of his line delivery, I was like, oh, that feels like Ice Cube. Like
yeah.
the
He's really funny.
Yeah, he was he was so fun.
He was one of the best characters. And like, do you know his ex NFL player, Marshawn Lynch?
Is he? Who did he play for?
I couldn't tell you, but he's an ex football, like American football star. He's now in a fair few comedies, like bits and pieces. He plays often because I don't think he's enough of an actor to carry a movie, but like as his little side characters who he gets to just be himself is so fun.
Yeah, right.
Um,
He
he's in an
was
episode
San
of
Francisco.
sure.
Yeah.
He's in an episode of do you remember that crime show with Will Arnett?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We watched the Santa one. Yeah, he's an episode of that, and it's one of the best episodes. It's just so funny.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
great. He did a great job.
Yeah, he was really good.
Hmm. Like you say, similar to Ice Cube, similar role. But yeah, his delivery is great, and I think a lot of him is ad lib as well. I think he's just a really funny guy.
Yeah. Well, I think he'd be super charismatic.
Hmm.
Like looking at him. He looks
Oh yeah,
he's a fun dude.
he
So
he loves
yeah, I had a good time overall. Like
it. Hmm.
it's really over the top, really wacky to the point
Yeah,
where they have this full like massive fight scene. They have a number of like fight scenes where I was like,
yeah, and
it's
well crafted ones as well. They're like directed pretty well.
yeah, like by from a feel standpoint, they're really good. As a fighting technique wise, they were they were shocking.
Yeah, but
But
they're
it's not
also
a
not experienced fighters. That's sort of the point as well.
yeah.
I'm glad they still felt like shit fighters. There is a scene in this where, in front of the entire school, again, this is a parody, but in front of the entire school, with the principal in the crowd and Marshawn Lynch, which seem to be the only two teachers in the school, which again is another parody. But they the jocks get this like grown ass man who's meant to be a student, and they all look like adults playing students. Again, it's a parody. But yeah, there's this whole scene where this grown ass man just beats up one of the girls in front of the whole school at the pep rally,
Yeah, because
and it's
they
like so violent.
because they learn that they've started a fight club and they spread the rumor that
Yeah,
they've been to juvie. And they're like,
yeah,
well, let's see what you've learned. And this is the top boxer of
you pretty well.
the school.
The
Yeah,
top boxer. He was like the top fucking roid taker.
he was
Was
huge.
just like, yeah, he was a big guy and just super aggressive. There's no boxing in what he was doing.
No, he looked like more of a wrestler physique than an actual boxer.
Yeah, I would have
But
thought the same, but
it makes it
yeah,
funnier,
it's
I reckon.
but yeah, you're right. Like the fight scenes, it wasn't just because yes, it is quite crass in like its delivery. You know, there's a lot of fuck this and fuck that, and a lot of in between is say in between is because it's like it's rude in how teenagers talk to each other. It's like it's accurate in that way, I think. So
Yeah.
yes, that's why it's MA, but also the violence in this, like they don't hold anything back, and I fucking think that's fantastic. Like people die, and they point out the fact that at the end, like they kill people. That guy's dead. That guy's dead.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was,
Very.
and it wasn't overly long. Like when I wanted it to sort of wrap up, it wrapped up,
Yep.
and I was like, this is a nice, like even like good time. And they didn't overuse the same jokes. Like I started to get slightly tired of the popular girl's best friend, where she was like, "I'm wrapped up in my own, I guess, self worth because I'm super attractive or whatever." Was it Brittany? I think it was Brittany.
Oh, the tall one. Yeah.
Yeah, who was Isabel's the main
Yeah.
love
Yep. Yep.
interest for Josie. I was like,
Yeah. The one
yeah,
that PJ was going for.
yeah, and that she was like, no, I'm definitely definitely not gay.
Definitely not gay. Yeah. Yeah. I think she was fine. I didn't find her
Ah,
annoying or tired at all.
no, there was just a couple of jokes where I was like, okay, you can probably drop it, and then they did. I was like,
Okay.
sick, sick. I was happy they didn't
One
keep
of my
using the
favorite
same jokes.
characters. Yeah, I don't think like you're right. Like that is often a worry, I guess, with parody in general, or even this sort of genre is that it's the same. Because even in between is like the characters all do the same thing every episode, just different situations. But it's funny every time, and I feel like this is similar, especially when it's only an hour and a half. It's pretty hard to overdo something. We do see it a fair bit. Yeah, you're right. Like I think the comedy was great. Um, I one of my favorite characters was I can't remember her name, but she looked like Avril Lavigne. That's the only way I can really think of her. She had
Yep.
like longer like trucker hair. She had like not trucker hair, like a trucker hat. That yeah, Sylvie, I think her name was, and she was like one with braces. Um, she was always like screaming, like she's super. There's this scene where they're getting hyped up and they're like applauding each other in the actual fight club, and she's just like just
Ah, yeah.
screaming, like has like all the teeth going and stuff. She's just nuts. I love that in her.
Yeah,
And yeah, they
that's
look like fucking adults, but it's fine. It's funny.
it's good fun. Very good fun.
Yeah.
You got anything else in your notes? Sure, you got
Um.
something.
Yeah. I like the times where like I hate when movies, and I've said this many times before, when they follow the same formula and they have the black moment where all the cat we think all the characters are like getting mad at each other, not being friends and whatever. Um. But I think like that's fine if it's very self-aware. Like the entire time, this movie wasn't trying to be badass and cool. It was trying to be kind of shit. And I think being so self-aware of what you're creating is endearing, regardless of how basic the plot is. Like that's you're pointing that out intentionally. So everything that I had problems with in terms of like basic writing or characters that didn't really develop, I think most did. Um, I'm still like, well, yeah, because they're literally parodying the movies that we've seen a million times. That all these things that are wrong with them are wrong with this, and that's seems very intentional.
Yeah, that's fair. Well,
I want a movies, I want a TV series now with these characters. Fucking
okay.
awesome.
I don't think it would happen. I think it's just like a bit of
It'd
a
be one
one.
and done.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, this to me is like a future classic. I think this will be a movie like Barbie that we like. It's almost disappointing this came out after Barbie because a lot of what this movie was saying and a lot of what Barbie was saying are very similar. I think that they're almost they seem like successes in a way. Not that I don't think anyone had any hand in either of them together. Like as in, I don't think there was one person who worked on both. But like this feels in the same sort of like font, same sort of energy as Barbie,
Okay. Yeah.
and funnier
Yeah. Well,
in
I think
different ways.
well, Barbie had to, they had younger kids that were definitely going to go to it. So they had to
Yeah,
add,
but imagine it didn't. Imagine
yeah,
how much funnier it could have been.
could have been.
But yeah, you're
But
not wrong. Whereas
you
this,
know,
yeah, was just balls to the wall. They do what they want.
yeah.
Really funny, really well made, great characters. I had a fantastic time. I'm
What would
watching
you
it again very soon.
what would you give it?
I'll give it a 4.5.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. That's fair. That's
it's
fair.
one of the best comedies I've seen this year for sure.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, 4.5 for me.
Okay.
It's
Fair.
really, really good.
Yeah. Mine's solid four.
Yep.
Solid four. Very, very good. Enjoyed it. And it wrapped up perfectly. You have a good laugh, you have a good time.
Yep.
I wouldn't go back to it, I reckon. I think
Okay.
I wouldn't intentionally if it was on, I'd sit there and watch it, but if
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was like I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I nearly watched again last night, but then I watched something else, which I'll explain when we get to Henry Sugar.
Ooh. Okay.
But this was great. Everyone go watch it. If you liked Barbie, you'll love this.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Barbie yet, I'd start with this because that way you can sort of appreciate this on a different level. It's hard to not compare them if you've seen Barbie already.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Cool, cool, cool.
Loved it.
Oh, well, let's move on from bottoms to Castlevania Nocturne. But before we get to that one, I know you're gonna hold your breath with it. Lawson's got his little TikTok
Yeah, real
summary.
quick. I forgot. It's too hard to show it, but really quickly, there's been huge wins for the writers' strike. It looks like it's relatively over. It's I would like to show you the video, but I gotta look it up. If you're listening, go look up everything that the writers' strike has won, and what they've been able to successfully get out of the deal. And it's been one of the longest ever strikes because they wouldn't budge, and it's great because a lot of the time, like one of the things that was said by one of the CEOs is like, our game plan is just to make them have to work, to make them go homeless. But they didn't. They like that was ridiculous that CEOs would rather people go homeless than budge on, working rights. But anyway, huge thing, big wins. Go look it up. Let's talk about a really fucking awesome anime.
All right. So this is Netflix's. Well, they've got a previous Castlevania series as well, and
Mhm.
this is their second release of the Castlevania universe.
Yeah.
So, did you watch the original Castlevania anime on Netflix?
I never finished it, which is annoying, but I watched probably maybe 6 episodes.
Okay. Yep.
It's very
I
good.
I haven't seen it, but with after seeing this, I'm gonna definitely have to watch it.
Oh yes.
Yes. So this is following along with the Belmont story. So this follows Richter. I always say
Richter.
Richter.
Yep, you got
Yep.
it.
Richter. And he is being passed the whip, the vampire hunting blessed whip. So he is able to whip away at all the different vampires, demons, etc. that is in this world. But this is set during the French Revolution. A vampire hunter prodigy, Richard Belmont, fights to uphold his family legacy and prevent the rise of a ruthless, power-hungry vampire. So I actually had to go look up the timeline or the family tree of the Belmonts because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
is it a Belmont all the time? And it turns out that the Belmont was I can't remember his name, but the Belmont was the first one to hold back Dracula, and then that's how he became the vampire hunter, and then it's
Yep.
passed along with each different generation because Dracula keeps coming back for whatever reason. But this new Messiah is meant to be the most powerful one, where I thought Dracula was the most powerful one. I don't know. I haven't finished the
Yeah,
series yet, but
yeah. That part was a little bit unsure for me as well. To be honest, but um,
yeah,
yeah, I would have thought that Dracula was bigger and badder, but I guess not. Makes sense. That why would he be?
no. But I thought Dracula's always been I guess, the father of vampires. Has always been
Mm-hmm.
the big bad. So we are introduced into the world where we get some backstory of Richard. I've said it wrong again.
Rick, like
Rick.
Rick and Morty
Yep.
to Richter.
Richter. So we're presented into him and his mother, and we get a big internal conflict about the only thing that he is scared about is the vampire that killed his mother, which comes into play a little bit. I've actually watched 4 episodes of this because I was like, I need to know some more. Have you only
Fair.
seen the 3?
Yeah, I only watched the 3. Yeah.
Yep. Have you played any of the games?
Not all the way through. I have played a couple, but I've never finished any of them.
Okay. Yep. So I've played bits and pieces. I did want to play the one that came out in Xbox 360, PS4, or PS3 realm, which was I can't remember, but it was
Lords of Shadow.
yeah, that's the one. And there was Lords. They had a sequel because it got really good reviews. Lords of Shadows, whatever. But this is showing us during the French Revolution, so we're introduced to. I don't know the relations between Rick and the girl that can summon birds, which
Ah,
was
so
it
when he was an orphan, the mother, the mother who we also know as well, the mother and her seemed to have. I'm not sure at what stage, but they helped raise him.
okay.
They
Yep.
helped look after him.
Okay, so they were obviously known to the family because they have their powers to hunt demons and vampires and everything as well. Because she's able to summon this bird and creature. They have magic.
Yeah, they're magic. I'm
Yeah.
not sure about um them being like known or not. I'm not sure if they just happen to stumble across each other.
Okay.
Like I'm not sure if they had history prior, but
yeah, I don't know. It might be.
yeah,
It might be told further on. But
yeah. I felt more like they they raised him even though they didn't know who he was. Based on what he was saying, how you took me in, you looked after me, all that sort of stuff. Like I know you're good people.
okay.
Um, yeah, that's how I sort of feel how it was. But again, I'm not actually sure. So I hope we find that out more as we watch on.
Yeah, because I wanted to know like how he was trained, because obviously his mother died, but like if he was taken in by these people, like who trained him in the art of combat and was like, these are the different demons, etc. Because he's meant to have, because of the traumatic event, he's meant to be more ruthless of all the Belmonts because of this traumatic event and like train
Yeah,
and push himself. But I don't.
sure.
We haven't got that like backstory of who trained him. I have to say, I did not like his voice actor.
I was waiting for it.
I struggled hard with it. There was
Yeah.
one moment, I think it was in end of episode 3 or in episode 4, where he was like, "I am Rich Belmont," like, and it was like, all right, that was a cool moment. But then there was these majority of the time, it was monotoned. They like, yes, you have a MA rating, but they just dropped like fuck for no reason. Like it felt really out of place. Like,
Oh, you reckon?
yeah, I felt like he swore just because they have the rating. I was like, it's a weird. You're talking to these like French Revolution, like really, I guess to me they seemed really academic, really like prim and proper, and that's how they come across. And like you've just out of randomness just dropped it just because you've got the rating. Like it felt weird.
But who was swearing? The aristocrats?
No, Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that because I mean that's sort of to me because the French Revolution is all about class,
hmm.
and I don't mind them swearing so much. That's almost like a class thing as well. Like
No, but it was
the
only him.
lower classes.
It was only him.
Maybe I'm trying to excuse it away.
It just
I
felt
didn't find it.
weird.
I don't know. I swear that much.
It,
I'm not doing it because I have the rating. I don't do it. Just do it because that's my vocabulary. Some people have a higher swearing vocab than others. You'd never swear. I swear enough for both of us.
I don't
I
know.
do wonder if
It just felt out of place.
Okay, I didn't see that, but fair. I can see where you're coming from.
Like I don't know if it was his like the voice actor or if it was just because I struggled hard with him. Like he was meant to be this tough, gruff kind of like I need to go out
Yeah,
and get revenge, but he's just I don't know. It's just
yeah, yeah. I think that's more it. Like he comes, it's like hearing NSYNC come out of a badass. Like this guy's meant to be fucking unstoppable, the most courageous, scary fucking vampire hunter out there. Kicking ass, taking names, and his voice feels like a boy band, like second singer. You know, not even the main singer.
yeah,
He
it
doesn't
was
have enough. And I'm not saying that. So I obviously completely disagree with the mentality of, you know, he needs to be a man to be a man. And it's not that, but it's just like it's not what I was expecting. I think I got used to it more so over time, but the first few scenes, I'm like, okay, this is not where I thought his voice would be, and I have to adjust a little bit. I think is more like I don't dislike it. I'm sure that it was chosen for a reason. And I think it's good that we're going away from the stereotypical men lead characters, but it does take me a while to get used to this guy's voice. That's what I'm trying to get to.
yeah. It's just I don't know. I struggled with it, and
I can see.
yeah, it was it was interesting, but
Mm-hmm.
this is revolving around the French Revolution and the
It's awesome.
is really cool and
Yeah, I love the French Revolution.
seeing all the art styles all come together, the design of the demons and the like the vampires,
Mm-hmm.
really cool. Like
Yeah, the first series did that really well as well.
okay,
Like,
I got can't pull on knowledge from that one.
yeah, I'd highly recommend it. It's just as good as this. I don't know why I stopped watching. I think I caught up because at that point I think it was being released weekly, or
Ah,
they did it in chunks. I forget.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, like the French Revolution's amazing setting. I can connect way more with the French Revolution than the first movie because the first movie is more like medieval.
oh, I do like
Um,
medieval though.
yeah, which is fair, but I like the French Revolution. I think it's a really interesting setting, and I love when we have stories like this being told in our universe, and they use moments of our history to sort of influence. Like, yes, the movie is about vampires and demons and this the vampire. What do they call her? Messiah. Messiah.
Messiah, yeah.
Um, it's about all that stuff, but it's also about the French Revolution and them fighting against the aristocrats. And the aristocrats happen to be vampires most of the time in this. So it's sort of like it's a nice little play into it's like to me, the Assassin's Creed series and how it's all built within our universe and our sort of religion and stuff. And I find that so fucking interesting.
Okay, it's
Uh,
cool.
I don't know, a bit off tangent there, but yeah, this shit's good.
Yeah, so obviously the Messiah is coming, and
Mm-hmm.
there are vampires have to choose sides. They either have
Mm-hmm.
to, try and steal glory for themselves or set up and join and help the Messiah come and take over.
Yep.
There is a little bit of back and forth. There is a what are they like knights? I can't remember exactly what they were called, but the knights in grey, the old mate who has a relation with a vampire, which I didn't know vampires could have sex with humans.
Okay.
I was,
Yeah, I guess I've always sort of assumed.
yeah, but I've never seen it. I was like, that's interesting. I didn't know that was able. Also, what is the ruling on vampires and sunlight in this universe? Because there is some scenes where the vampires pull up in a carriage and they have an umbrella to hold the light off them, but they're able to just stroll in during the day. And then when they have an interaction in one of the temples, they're like, but sunlight, and she puts her hand in the sunlight, and it like has the what's it called, like where it starts to degrade her skin and like flecks come off. But they were able to walk into the palace just with an umbrella. I was very confused. And then also one of the
Yeah, look,
vampires has a fight scene out in the middle of the day in a courtyard.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
I was confused
it
what
looks as
the
if
ruling was.
they are resistant to sun, like especially the more powerful ones.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, something I must have missed in the first series, but supposedly it's explained in more detail.
Later on.
Hmm.
Okay.
Like no, not later on. Sorry, in the first
Okay.
Castlevania series.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was confused. I was confused about that. I also think that they have enough different powers. So like um Rich has his whip and he's like a martial artist. He has his short sword and
Hmm.
whatever. And then you've got his like adopted sister who has the summoning of
Yeah,
animals, which is
really cool.
really cool. You see a variety of different animals she's able to conjure. Then we have what was their name? The slave girl, where she has the ability to what was it, shape and redefine metal, anything that has metal in it, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, Metal and Stone. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's really cool. I like how they use it as well. Like it's clever.
yeah.
Like a lot of the
Hmm.
time they set up powers, but no one uses like powers correctly. But she's like
Annette.
taking taking like railings off and reshaping it. There's a fight in the
Yeah.
underground tomb where she's like pulling doors off and reshaping it to
Hmm.
metal. Like it's
Building stone bridges and
yeah,
yeah, she's really cool. It's always felt like the first series I watched the same sort of time we were playing Curse of Strahd, and it was like a really good inspiration for coming
yeah,
up with like Curse of Strahd stuff. It's always felt a little D&D, the Castlevania series, because it's like, yeah, there's elements of magic and obviously really good sword play, and they got, not all D&D as vampires, but like the demons and stuff feel very D&D as well at times.
yeah,
It does feel like a little D&D story. But yeah, like you said, they're really fucking, and they're all unique. Like you said, it's not like some movies you see, or there's everyone's just a fighter, and everyone has, yes, they use different weapons potentially, but they're still just fighters.
yeah,
Whereas like these feel like three different classes in D&D, and I love that.
yeah. Even the
Well,
enemies,
for Edward as well.
yeah, even the enemies are different as well. Like
Yeah,
you could have just thrown your generic sort of demons, but like
definitely.
it's really cool. Like the design, how they create demons is really interesting. They go a little
Yep,
bit into it in episode
yep.
4, which is
Oh, okay, I thought they touched on that already because well, all I know from episodes 1 to 3, and this isn't really a spoiler because we haven't watched that much, um, is that they have a deal with the vampires. Vampires drink their blood and they turn the corpses into demons, and that's all
yep,
I've got from episodes 1 to 3.
yep, yep. But
Yeah,
like
cool.
the person that gets turned into a demon is super cool with the design as well. Really,
Okay,
really cool.
yeah,
So
sick. No, I'm
yeah,
definitely gonna watch more.
it's I like that they've gone for the higher rating as well. Like I don't think this would be as impactful if they didn't have the
Oh God,
higher
no.
rating. Like if it
God,
was
no.
like silhouettes and stuff where when characters are dying, but this is showing like decapitation, cut in half, like they're showing the gore, they're showing the over the top. Like it's just really good. And it
Yeah, it's fantastic.
looks like it's got a really cool, like well thought out plot at this point in time. Like I'm
Well,
hoping
the
they're
first
able to.
one's over 30 episodes. The first is like 4 seasons long.
Is there 4 seasons?
Yeah, the first season's only 4 episodes,
Yeah.
and then episode 2, I think I've seen. Hold on, let me have a look. I've seen the first 2 seasons. I've watched 12 episodes of the first one,
All right.
and then I must have caught up. But yeah, there's 32 episodes, 4, 8, 10, 10. So yeah, they have enough to explore. And the Castlevania, like, there's so many games, there's so much lore to explore. I think that no matter what they made, it's going to be great. Like I'm really keen to watch more. This has made me need to go watch, like you've said. I have the need to go watch the original Castlevania as well
Yeah.
because this slaps. This is like such a banger of a show.
Yeah. So the first season is the first show is focusing on the first Belmont, I'm assuming.
Trevor Belmont, who's
Yeah,
like way up in the ancestry chain, is like one of the first.
yeah. So he's fighting, I'm assuming Dracula would be.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming.
sure.
Well, yeah. Anyway, but yeah,
Dracula is in it. Yes.
yeah, yeah. Sick. Cool. Oh, I had a thoroughly good time. Just the voice acting let me down on Rich. That
Yeah,
was my biggest gripe.
I'm not sure it's let me down. I think it wasn't what I expected, and that's probably more of a me thing. So I think
Yeah.
once I'm used to it, I think it's fine. But if you
Okay.
disagree, I get it.
Mm, mm. It does have a bit over sexualized vampires, the standard sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
You don't
Yeah,
reckon?
yeah. Look, I think it's sort of what I expect of vampires now as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of like vampires to me are that way anyway. Like I don't know, that's sort of how I expect them to be. So I'm never
Okay.
disappointed when it happens.
Right. I mean, fair. I don't know. Just be prepared for it.
I
But
suppose, yeah. But it is
no,
like it's not just from the violence. Like
no.
like you said, it by letting this be an R, like it was. So it was the first series. Not like they tried to make it this one more bloodthirsty or whatever. But because they're allowed to do whatever they want, really, it's for adults. They just go hard in every direction. And
Yeah.
it's really fucking awesome.
So definitely check it out.
Yeah, highly recommend. The animation's so sick. Every fight scene's so cool, and it's like as much as this obviously is made in computer, it doesn't feel like that shitty fucking CG that a lot of anime is moving into, like we watched in Dragon Ball
Yep.
Super and stuff. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. For me, it's a 4.5 again.
Yep. Yep. Fair.
This is so sick.
Mine's 4.5 as well. It
Yep.
loses half a star because of the voice actor.
Okay.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Get the bloke which was the Black Power Ranger and did Ichigo Kurosaki. Get him to do the voice
Oh, you
acting.
reckon?
Yep. Yep. Get him to do every voice
See,
ever.
whereas I'm kind of glad that it doesn't feel like every other anime in that way. Like it yeah. I like that it doesn't feel like a shonen anime just all of a sudden.
No, I don't know. I want a little bit of gruffness to the voice. A little bit of
Yeah.
like, even a little bit of like determination. Like he just felt like he was reading lines and he was like, I'm Rich Billman. Like,
Yeah, okay. I need to watch more, I reckon.
like, give me something. Give me something. There was one time that you impressed me, but that's what I want all the time. That's what I want all
Yeah,
the
okay.
time.
All right, we'll see
And
how it goes as we watch more of it. See both will be.
yeah. In episode 4, there's a bit of a comical moment, which it does add to it, but the way that it unfolds, I like was laughing rather than like the intended purpose of it.
Right, you're laughing at more than with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
it was yeah, I don't know. Without going into it, like when you see it, I think you'll understand what I'm talking about. So
Okay.
yeah. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah. Yeah.
down.
Go see it, watch it. It's definitely worth your time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, moving on to the wonderful story of
Yeah.
Henry Sugar. I feel like this is your wheelhouse of
Sure.
of unpacking and delivering. So I'm gonna give you the honors of this one. This
Okay.
is Wes Anderson's new one, which was written by Roald Dahl and Wes Anderson. I was just looking on the notes here. So this is a short adventure comedy starring Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yep.
So apparently Roald
Sure
Dahl
does.
appears in it.
Does he?
Yeah, he's in the cast list.
Are you sure it's not someone playing Roald Dahl? Does it say Ralph Fiennes Roald Dahl?
Yeah, yeah, it does.
That's funny. Nice.
But he does appear in it.
Okay, so
He does.
wonderful.
He's a character, does he not?
He's a character.
Mm,
He's
mm,
a character in it, not an actor in it. He's a character in it.
got you there. Gotcha.
You sure did not.
Mm, go on.
So the wonderful story of Henry Sugar. The IMDb one sounds kind of dumb. Chronicles a variety of stories, but the main one follows Henry Sugar, who is able to see through objects and predict the future with the help of a book he stole. I don't like that one. I'm going to use
Okay.
the one that's on Letterboxd. A rich man learns about a guru who can see without using his eyes. He sets out to master the skill in order to cheat at gambling. That is a way better way of describing this.
Okay.
Uh, the best way to describe this is it is very Wes Anderson.
Oh,
It's
it's written all over Wes Anderson.
Yeah, absolutely. There's 4 layers to the story. So the first layer is Roald Dahl sitting in like an armchair, which, as we've already said, is
It's
Ralph
not.
Fiennes.
It's not actually Roald Dahl.
No. So yeah, it's Ralph Fiennes is explaining about this story, and then it goes into Benedict Cumberbatch's first world. So this is the second layer, where yes, he is a gambler, and he finds this book. And as he starts reading the book is Dev Patel's character, or the initial character, a doctor, who is telling the story of a guru who came into his doctor's surgery to get his head bandaged because he can see without seeing. He can see without using his eyes. And then it goes into, and Ben Kingsley is the playing the guru, Imdad Khan. And then it goes inside his layer where Imdad Khan is telling the story of how he more or less got the ability to see without using his eyes. And it more or less is through meditation. Basically, through years and years of meditation, being able to focus on objects, he can see through those objects. And one of those things can be bandages and see through them, whatever. So then there's the 4 layers. So it goes all the way into a story about a story about a story about this guru. The guru tells his story. It then applies to each of the stories as it goes back out. And then by the end, it is we watch Benedict Cumberbatch's gambler character. We get to watch him go through all the trials that the guru did on the 4th layer, and even faster because he dedicated his entire life to it, even more so. And then eventually he becomes like a gambler. And then he loses the passion for gambling because without the rush of gambling, where's the fun? So he sort of has that message at the end. And that's more or less the entire thing, but it is full of magic and whimsy. It's got the whole way, all these moving sets. A lot of the time, the characters, it feels at times kind of like an audiobook where characters are sort of reading out passages from the Roald Dahl story.
Do you reckon this is a new genre? So instead of audiobook, it's more of a cinematic book, would you say?
Well, in a way, yes, because this is the first of a series. I've actually watched all 4 now. I didn't realize this is how it was happening, but last night I was on Netflix. I was going to rewatch Bottoms, and then I saw that there was something called The Swan, Poison, and the Rat Catcher, and those ones are only about 17 minutes long. This one was like 38,
Okay.
37. But there's 4 Wes Anderson directed Roald Dahl stories about these little short novellas that Roald Dahl has written. And they're all pretty good. This is the best one. I think if you're only going to watch one of them, watch this one, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. The other ones are shorter. They're not as like this one had a higher budget, a bit more fun to it. The other ones are very felt
So
more like.
is the rat
What?
catcher animation or like
No.
stop motion? I'm just looking at
Oh,
the
there is
picture
stop
now.
motion section. There's stop motion section of a rat,
Okay.
but the rest of it is live action. And it's all the
Gotcha.
same actors. So that's got Ralph Fiennes in it again. He's playing the rat catcher.
Right.
And it's got Richard Ayoade from IT Crowd in it as well in the rat catcher.
Gotcha.
They're all pretty good. This is the best one. I love this. It is so fun. all the moving sets. So yeah, as I was saying before, it's almost like a an audio book where characters are just reading out stories to you, and sort of as it goes through the layers. But the characters are sort of like standing still, and the set around them is being like walked around and changed, and props being brought in by like prop masters. All the prop masters or people who are like moving the sets and stuff, they're not being hidden. They're like intentionally, they're like in costume to look like roadies, I suppose, or not roadies, but like stage hands. And they come in and they move everything. And I liked the meta of it. And again, that's very Wes Anderson, but I love being able to see the working cogs of the machine. And it felt, and again, it's very Wes Anderson, it felt like a really high budget stage production. And I was just sitting there watching a stage production.
Okay.
Um, I had a fantastic time, and I loved that it was quite a small cast, and even with the four layers, they just reuse actors. Benedict Cumberbatch comes back later as like he's doing someone's makeup. Um, Dev Patel is in multiple layers as well. Rich Ayode's character is multiple layers of it. Um, yeah, so it was Ralph Fiennes. Like, yeah, it's there's a lot to love. Um, I love as well that it was short. They didn't try to stretch this out into a feature length film, and that goes even more so into the other three if you end up watching them.
Okay.
It's called the Roald Dahl Collection. Yeah, I said a lot. I'd love to hear what you want to say. This is great. Please
Um,
go.
I didn't really have like it was enjoyable. It
Yeah.
ran the entire time. I felt like it was a mashup of Grand Budapest Hotel and Asteroid City, with how it like swapped and changed with the color palette and the moving sets and stuff.
Yeah.
Where it felt more like in line with the Grand Budapest Hotel, but
Hmm.
with it telling a story. Like
Yeah.
it was enjoyable. It was short. If you like Wes Anderson, you're probably gonna like this. This felt like Wes Anderson was just like let off the leash and was like, let's go. And he's just got what 30 odd minutes, 37 minutes just
Yeah.
to tell a story. Like it was good. It didn't feel like it was like dragged out anywhere. There was some
Hmm.
like dry humor. It was like it was enjoyable. I don't know the context of like Roald Dahl's short stories, so I don't know about this. So this was all like new to me. I
Fair.
wasn't few of the like four different layers. I was like, okay, it's probably a little bit too in depth for me to wrap my head around in 37 minutes. Where I was like, I'm still enjoyable. I'm not that in depth. I like seeing things exploding and give me Michael Bay. Like
Sure.
it was pretty, it was well told, it was well made. I like as you said, like the reusing of characters. Like it was
Yeah.
funny, it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
I like got a dry sense of humor, and it had all that.
Yeah.
I just
Definitely.
I don't know that I'd watch it again though, but I did have a good
Okay.
time with it.
Yeah. I would. This one I would. The other ones, maybe one of them I rewatched because it was really, really good comparison to the rest. But this I think is fantastic.
Okay.
It's like we've always not we have always known, but there's always been a pretty good connection between Wes Anderson and Roald Dahl, but now like even more so. They're just such a perfect couple.
Yeah, right.
They're like,
I
yeah.
wonder I wonder how they met. Who reached out first was like, hey,
Well,
do you wanna
Roald
adapt my
Dahl was
stuff?
Roald Dahl was not alive.
Oh, well then. Well then. I guess they're not buddies.
Roald Dahl is very old.
Is he?
Like
Was he? I don't know how old he is.
1916 he was born.
Right.
So like I don't know when he died.
Is he dead?
Yeah,
Well, oh yeah, he died 1990 at 74.
1990. There he is. Yep. There you
Yeah.
go. Before I even existed.
Wow, he had a lot of kids. He had one, two, three, four, five. He had his own basketball team, eh?
5. Not that many for the time. especially like post World War and stuff.
Yeah, still five's a lot. And
Yeah,
then
no, I'm not sure if they ever met.
oh,
Wes
well then,
Anderson and Roald Dahl.
well then, that throws my theory out of the water.
But they're both so whimsical in
Okay,
their storytelling.
yeah,
I think they couple really well, and I hope that this opens the door for more things. Because again, I've said it before, but I think streaming services let directors make whatever the fuck they want in such a beautiful way. And like you said, with this, it just feels like they've just said, "Go for it, actors. Who do you want? All right, sweet. Here's some money. It's not much, but you can do what you want." Wicked will build these really cool sets. We'll tell these really interesting, cute little stories, and then move on. Like there's no strict making sure that it fits certain categories or making sure that it's certain lengths and whatever. They can just make what they need to make and move on.
yeah.
And I love that. It's such a tidy little package.
That also explains why Rowan Dahl was not in the film.
Yeah, no, he's not in the
Okay.
film. That's why I was like, no. That's so
Well,
funny. Hey, if
I've,
you don't know, you don't know. No
yeah,
judgment.
I've learned something. So yeah,
You learned something.
I did. What would you give it?
I want you to go first,
Okay.
please.
I had a good time. I thought it was quite good. I didn't really have much problems with it besides, it's just telling a short story. It's not really what I would consume. Like I wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't for the podcast. But it's still good. Still good. It's a
Yep.
4 out of 5. Like it's solid.
Four.
It's
Okay.
enjoyable.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just
You gave this and bottoms both a 4. What's the scale? Where did each one lie?
let's go this 4.1.
Interesting. I thought that you would have said the opposite because I thought you would have enjoyed bottoms more.
Yeah, like I laughed in bottoms and I probably had a better time in terms of
Mm-hmm.
enjoyment, but I think this visually and like cinematically is better.
Fair. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Um, I yeah, I've also given this a 4.5, and I say also because every single thing this week for me has been a 4.5,
Ooh.
nearly 5.
Does that mean you got to split the ratings? You
Well,
got to rank
yeah,
it.
I would
Rank
actually
it.
put bottoms above this. I
Okay.
think that for what it is, it's near perfect. This is also very good, but I think there are better examples of Wes Anderson films. I don't think there's currently a better example of Bottoms.
Okay.
That's why I'm putting Bottoms a little higher. So Bottoms is like
Bottoms
a
is not
little over four and
bottoms.
a half. Yeah, I'm gonna say like 4.7 ish, and then this actually probably this below Castlevania as well. I think Castlevania's still solid 4.5. This is more like a 4.4.
Okay.
Um, like as much as it was really entertaining, and at least it was short, it also we've seen it before. It
Hmm.
still was Anderson. A lot of the reviews are saying, "Boy, I'm sick of Wes Anderson." Like I don't think this presented much new to me that I haven't already seen in previous Wes Anderson works.
Okay.
Like I would rather go watch Grand Budapest over this.
Yeah. What has Wes Anderson got to do to break out of Wes Anderson like fatigue?
That's why I think Ashford City was so great because it was very Wes Anderson in its presentation, but it presented a story that like we're just not used to with him. It's about
But
nihilism and
do you
like
reckon
life
people
has no
get
point.
does like Tarantino get the same treatment as Wes Anderson? People are like, oh man, it's just another Tarantino film.
Mm, I think Tarantino doesn't have as much of a visual style. Like Wes
Okay.
Anderson, you could look at any of his films without pushing play, and you could tell it's. But even Tarantino, I think, would still fit into. Tarantino is more of homage director as well. He references a lot of things. Wes Anderson doing very much his own thing.
Okay. Yeah. Just interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, next week, what are we doing?
Next week we have Gen V or Gen 5, however they want to say it,
We
which
don't know
is
yet.
the spin-off of The Boys. And then we have my pick, Expendables 4. Lawson's very, very excited. And then we
Oh
have
yeah.
Saw X or Saw 10, however they want to say it. Just, I'm assuming it's Roman numerals. So I'm surprised that's got 10 films. The first one was
Yeah, I didn't know
great,
there
and
was 10.
then the rest of them are whatever. Hopefully this fixes it. I've seen 1 and 2. I don't know
Yeah,
if I've
same.
seen the other saws. So
Long time ago.
who knows? It'll be a jigsaw for us to put together.
Oh,
Ah,
good one.
yeah.
Bye everyone.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see on that one. Boys.